forget about the pizza. I'm just saying that you guys should have some treats. Get yourself comfortable in the chair and get ready for the next run. Coming up, we have Gone with Deltarune Chapter 2, Snowgrave route, and his commentator Marty. Gone, the stage is yours.
Hi everyone, again we are gonna do Chapter 2 Snowgrave, which is an alternate route of Chapter 2 that is not the normal one. And Marty will explain some things out the run, and I will mainly focus on the attacks and the chases. So yeah, I'll do the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the knife was actually for eating a pie. It wasn't with malicious intent. And now we're gonna do best skip again. And continue chapter 2.
So chapter 2 is considerably more complicated and difficult than chapter 1 for a number of reasons. First of all, there's a lot of encounters, at least in the Snowgrave route, and some of them can be problematic. And in the main route, which is the alternate or the main route, as the name suggests, there is one very unbalanced boss that's very RNG heavy, and it can kill many of your runs. So the difficulty is substantially higher.
Okay, so first encounter here, 2 new enemies from this chapter were wires. They shoot lasers and electric balls, so we're gonna hack the left wall. Well, not really, because we kill one, so we go to the bottom. And that's it. Now, Marty, explain how the encounters and XP works in this game.
Yeah, so if you fight one of the enemies in any encounter, you will get a little bit of XP when you, which you will use to level up, right? So if you, for example, spare one or kill the other, or spare both, there will be a little counter that counts up the XP that you need to level up. You will see. I'm pretty sure you are gonna be doing the 2 extra encounters.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's gonna be doing two encounters in heals. This one and the task and one coming up, and including the first wires that we just saw. That's gonna be 3 encounters that are gonna increase our XP level, right? And when we get to the city and we get to Noel, Noel will need 4 encounters to level up, and we will already have 3 because for some reason the XP counts for her as well, even though she's not in the game yet. And with just one more enemy, she will be leveled up from the start, and he will be easier.
Okay, so we're gonna do the next extra encounter that are the tasks. They are cat-like monsters, well, darkners, they are called. So we're gonna kill both, and we're gonna hack the left wall. Or not. If he does this attack, you don't hack the left wall.
Now we're gonna play a little game with Queen. Just a basic replica of Punch Out. If you play that game. So the mechanic of the game will be basically punching her and dodging when she attacks.
Okay, I didn't say this yet, but this chapter has a lot of cutscenes, and when I say a lot, it's like 20% of the game of the chapter is cutscenes. It's unreal. But in Snowgrave there aren't that many, thankfully, so you will mostly see gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay, that fight was basically dodge, punch 2 times, dodge, repeat. That's how you do the punch out minigame.
There's not really any challenge in Cyberfields. The real challenge will start after Berkeley 1 when we enter the Cyber City.
Okay, a little trick here is that you can enter this room and then do this so they don't hit you.
I actually didn't know that.
And now we're gonna agree to all. And this encounter is important to skip it because it's one of the hardest ones.
Thankfully,
That
it's
enemy is really hard.
thankfully it's one of the easiest skips too.
Okay, now we're going to fight the hardest mini-boss in the game. It's so hard that the speedrunners always die to it.
Yeah, and it's always Chris for some reason. So in this fight, there's a strat in which if you fight one of the DJs, it will cancel the turn because they'll use that turn to heal themselves. So you basically cannot get hit during the DJ's fight, which is very useful.
It's basically a joke boss fight.
Yeah.
Unless you mess up the menuing, you can't get hit at all. So we dance and we fight. And they will heal just like a round. And the cycle repeats.
The milk is the most powerful healing item ever.
And I believe one more and we can end the fight. So we dance on all three and everyone dances.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to cheese this fight. And another way of speeding up the fight is by getting Chris to die. Of course, we can do that in a no-hit, but that's the trick that speedrunners use.
Okay, now we're going to buy 2 weapons, the Mecha Saber and the Auto Axe, which are very useful, especially the Mecha Saber for Snowgrave. And they cost 250 each, so you need 500 to afford it. That's why we took the Revive Mint. We have more than enough.
So you'll see that here that gun is taking a bit of a detour to go get an item. This item will give us a TP boost at the start of a fight, that we'll use later on to skip a turn on Bertie 2.
This room is kind of interesting because if the arrows hit the bombs, they will. Okay, I missed that. Wait. Okay, now. The arrows will hit the bombs and the bombs will shoot in all directions, but it's not really hard to dodge.
So you'll see that gun is picking up all of these orbs here, and that will give us a weapon for Ralsei, the Ragger 2, and that will make this fight easier and nothing else because we don't use Ralsei to fight anymore after this.
Yeah, we won't use Ralsei until very late into the run, and when we're that late, Ralsei is only used for one fight, basically. So it's useful mainly for barely one. Okay, here if you do enough damage, you can free turn barely, but you need to get some criticals.
I think that's it.
And that's it. We root buster and pacify here to do damage before pacifying, so that we can end the fight sooner.
So now we're done with Cyberfield, and this is where the route gets interesting and also much harder.
Yes. And here is a very important transition because a lot of people forget to unequip a certain armor that is needed for a main route no hit. A lot of people seem to forget it. You also need the amber cards for this because you can't unequip Susie's armor without another armor.
And now we will say goodbye to Susie and Ralsei for most of the game until the very end.
But don't worry, we won't be going alone. We will have a partner. This partner is gonna do some interesting things.
Yes, very not very nice things.
Okay, there's an enemy here, but it's easy to skip. Okay, now Marty, explain what we will be doing for most of the run with the enemies.
So we're gonna fight first of all the tutorial Viro that spawns wherever you go, and we're gonna freeze it to death, just casually. We're gonna use one of Noel's spells, Ice Shock, and as you can see there, just freeze it. And we're gonna backtrack to the trash zone where there will be some more enemies. And yeah, that's all we were gonna be doing for now. We're just gonna be freezing enemies to death, and obviously getting Noel stronger in the way.
Yes, that's the whole point, getting Noel stronger. So strong that it's scary. Okay, these enemies have two attacks. One of them is some bursts and other is free. got the free one. This attack can hurt you. So it's basically a free win.
We're gonna see all types of enemies, werewires, Viraviracunds. Later on there's gonna be tasks as well.
Okay, so if you didn't know, Virovirocuns are the hardest enemy solo because of one attack, which is the Space Invaders attack, and it's really hard to dodge. The other attack they have is really easy, but it's the 50-50. You can either get the easy one or the hard one. So for the Space Invaders, we go to the bottom left. Okay, without shit. You see that they shoot very fast and they cover a lot of space to the point that you can only be on the bottom part. So it's a really hard attack.
Yeah, thankfully there is a strat to skip it if you have Devil's Tail. Or well, not skip it, one turn it, so you don't see that attack. But we don't have it, so... And you'll notice that...
Okay, this enemy has also two attacks. One of them is some cars, like this. And some of the cars will be on fire and they will do a little fake out. And it can be a bit hard. Okay, task we already know what to do.
Notice that the cars have disappeared and there are enemies instead. That's how we know we are on the Snowgrave track. And you will see that there will be many differences later in the game.
Okay, now we're going to get a very special armor. Which is really great. I'll let Marty explain.
So, this armor right here, it will increase the grazing area around the soul. When you enter the battle, you will see it. There will be a bigger outline, and that will allow us to graze from farther away. You will see now when it goes to attack. So there will be a bigger graze area, and that will allow us to graze from farther away.
Yes, and it's very useful because it really increases your TP gains.
Yeah, and you don't have to get as close to the bullets to graze. So it's great for minimizing this. And at the end of chapter 2, we get access to an even better item, which is the Twin Ribbon, that has an even bigger grazing area.
I got a hard attack again. There's another Virocun fight, and it's two Virocuns. Fortunately, we will do enough damage to kill one of them, but one of them will still be alive, so they can do the hard attack. Okay, we can one-shot Virocun now, because we did 2 extra encounters.
So after this fight, we will be getting a stronger armor or a stronger weapon for Noel, which is the freeze ring. But unfortunately, we don't have enough money.
No, we are one money short.
Yeah, we don't. It's always one money short. So we're gonna do some mean things to the salesman here off camera. He's gone. Don't ask what happened to him.
Now we have the freeze ring.
So the freeze ring will allow us to one-shot every enemy, which is great because we'll see less turns, but also we'll see triples now, which obviously increase the chances of getting hit.
And now we have to freeze even more. And they are triple, so it's harder. Okay, this one is hard, easy to dodge because they will shoot through and you can just go up and down. Just like this one.
That attack is always satisfying to Grace.
The last Bairo Kun double. So we got the easy one at least.
Nice. At least we get to see both attacks.
Okay, in this chest there is a really trash weapon that we don't want.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Even for casual players. We're not gonna pick it up.
Okay, this is one of the hardest triples. Okay, we two coming from two sides. It's not that bad. It's worse when they combine the cars attack.
Yeah, some combinations can be really hard to dodge. We got some good RNG there though.
Okay, now this is also hard. We're gonna hack the left wall. Okay, that was close.
So here we will have a puzzle to solve, but since it's too hard, we don't want to solve it, so we're just gonna tell Noel to freeze it, so we can get by. And Noel is getting stronger, so it's fine.
Okay, that sound means that you are progressing in the Snowgrave route.
There's also a sound effect if you abort the snowgrave. We don't get to hear it, hopefully.
Okay, so triple mouse is kinda hard. What I do is hold the X button, and the X button is used for lowering the speed of the soul, so you move slower, and you will see why this is useful. And it's because there's a cursor that follows your movement, and we don't want the cursor to go too fast. Sometimes we gotta move fast because the patterns require it, but it's better to go slow. Okay, some mouses here. And another one. Okay.
Nice. So now we have 2 encounters left, but fortunately they are pretty easy. They will be pop-ups, but first there's another puzzle that it's too hard for us, so Noel is just gonna freeze it.
If you can see where this is going. There's also a kind of a bad thing here and it's that there are no save points near the boss, which is kind of annoying. But we can go with it. These are the birds. They go in all the directions. But fortunately, it's not too hard to follow. There
Just
are,
another pop-up.
yeah, you have a lot of room to dodge. And now that's all encounters, only the boss left, and then we can proceed to the next area.
But before we go to the boss, we're gonna have to backtrack to get an even stronger weapon. which is the third ring, and we're gonna have to go to a certain trash can to talk with a very 1997 salesman.
Yeah, we're gonna get access to the strongest spell in the game by a lot.
Which also gives the name to the run. Is the Snowgriff spell.
Okay, here's the Thorn Ring. I'm gonna unequip everything else because we don't need it. And now we can proceed to the boss, and I'll show what the tension beat is for.
Yeah, so in order to cast the Snowgrave, we're gonna need 100% of TP, and the minimum amount of turns just by grazing and defending is gonna be 3. However, the tension beat gives us a little bit of a TP boost, which will allow us to turn early and save a turn.
Yes, which is really useful. Now make sure you have the Thorn Ring and the pink ribbon also.
And use the left option, otherwise
Yes.
you'll waste it.
Okay, here's the tension beat. It gives 32 TP. And now we have enough.
And now we can make some frozen chicken.
And apparently Noel doesn't know the spell. She doesn't know how to cast it.
That's fine. We can teach her. You'll see. Watch what happens when I cast a spell I don't know. And if you like this character, I'm very sorry. $1,801 damage, and the bird is frozen.
Now Noel decides that she had enough, that she doesn't feel good, and she's gonna leave.
And now we're gonna be all alone again.
So we can follow the main path. So we're gonna take a shortcut to the next area, which is the last area. And now we're gonna say hi to our previous partners.
Hopefully you haven't forgotten about them. They're gonna be accompanying us for mansion. Now you'll see, if you've played Deltarune, you'll know that the mansion is usually where Queen is, but it's changed a little bit since then. You will see that there's a strange man in here.
Yeah, there's someone who is an intruder here, and he has taken over the mansion.
But he recognizes you.
He's having a very good time. Unless we seal the fountain. I sure hope.
He sure hopes. Now
And
he's
this
gonna.
is my favorite dialogue in the game.
Yeah, it's so funny. He tells us to go play Minecraft.
Go play Minecraft or something. Okay, now we can continue. And there's an enemy here that is very easy to escape.
And fun fact, if you open the menu and close it, the mouse will move at half speed, which is an easier way to skip it.
Okay, you see this labyrinth. The hitboxes are really big. Like they are how they look. They are much bigger. So we have to be very careful. Like this. I think this is Okay. I'm gonna do micro taps. And we should be good, yes.
The hitboxes are very bad. Just like in my favorite fan game, Undertale Last Breath.
Okay, we're gonna we're gonna do the hardest part of the run in my opinion, or at least for me, which is a chase with a lot of heads that go from all directions, and they go super fast, and it's really hard to track. But I will try to not get hit. And we did it. Now we must see to break the pipis. Yes, it's called pipis.
If you mash the BBs, they will ascend into heaven, apparently. So you can skip it.
Okay, this fight is interesting because it normally takes forever, but there's a trick. There's a trick to make it easy, which is fighting the first task with everyone. Go to the left wall. And then we roar and pacify task manager. And that's it.
I should address that Undertale Last Breath is not my favorite fan game. I lost a bet and I had to mention it on stream.
But that's funny. Okay, this is very easy. You just move left and right. And now we have a little bit of a chase that is kinda easy, and the final boss. The final boss has a very interesting mechanic that Marty will explain when we get there.
Before that, Noel and Susie are gonna have a little moment here. And Ralsei, there's a chance that Ralsei will have a different sprite once Noel or when Susie comes back. And there's a 1 in 20 chance of the sprite being different. Let's see if we get it here. Unfortunately not. The sprite that would show up is from the dancing animation, I believe. Oh yeah.
Okay, so here you want to go to these gaps. And move when there are no electricity. And now just the final boss left.
Yeah, now it's the queen time. Oh wait, there's no queen.
Nope. Queen is kinda busy right now.
Yeah. So now while Queen is explaining her evil plan, I'm gonna explain the main mechanic of the final boss. So uh, when we enter the battle, you will see that the show will be yellow and turn towards the right. And if you press G, it will shoot a bullet that will be able to destroy some of Spamton's attacks. And if you hold Z and release it, it will release a big shot, which will do more damage. However, if you hold Z and spam enter, or vice versa, it doesn't really matter, uh, you will be able to spam big shots, which will be very useful in some certain attacks. However, this does make Spamton enraged, and he will do way more damage. So, and it will also change some of the attacks. So we gotta be careful with that. And also, I should mention this started as a glitch, but then Toby found out, and instead of patching it, he included it as a feature, which is really cool, and more developers should be like that.
Yeah, we're gonna strategically use the exploit to make certain attacks easier. So here is the fountain. It looks like we're going to end the game, but not. Surprise! That's the final boss.
Oh no!
Yeah, he became Neo, which is a more powerful form than his base form. Has much more health and attack, and different patterns. It's time to be a big shot. Okay, so in this fight, our main damage source will be X slash, which does a lot of damage for 25 TP, but we can't afford it yet, so we're gonna just fight. And we're gonna shoot this with normal charge shots. And now there's a kind of train thing where you have to destroy the heads. Now we have enough for X-Slash, and just look how much damage it does. Yeah, it's crazy, that's above 500 damage.
It's insane the amount of damage that it does. And
Now
only
I believe
25
will be Hertz 1, and we're gonna raise a lot of TP here to get more TP for X-Slash.
This will be the main TP source for the rest of the fight because it's very long and you can raise a lot.
Okay, we have a lot of TP now. It's gonna shoot some PPs that we have to destroy. It's just a bit of timing.
Close.
Now he's gonna do a telephone attack that you have to retreat and shoot so he doesn't catch you. Like this, you shoot and he goes backwards. Okay, so now we're gonna actually use the exploit for this attack because it's one of the hardest ones if you don't do the exploit. So 4 pots, and it's broken. And as you can see, he's not enraged yet because I only did 4 shots. But it's really hard to charge on without enraging him. So you have to be very careful. Like as you saw, I wasn't even shooting fast and he's still enraged, but that's okay. There's only one attack left before his final phase, and it's one of the hardest ones because it uses a heart and 2 tiny hearts which fill the box with projectiles. So let's see if I can get it right. Okay, we did.
Nice.
So now he's gonna go into a desperate phase and he's gonna shoot 3 PPs. Okay, not yet. On the next turn, but this turn is free.
Yeah, you can get hit on this turn. You're gonna shoot himself.
Okay, so now we're gonna spam it like crazy so that we don't get hit.
Now, his defense is way bigger now in a different form. We're gonna try to use or to get help from our friends. We're gonna call
Yes.
Barca here. Calling for help.
Now in this phase he has a lot of defense that if you try to attack, you are gonna do very tiny damage. So you are forced to act.
Push it down.
Okay, this is the final attack.
Now
And
we
that's a
call
snow
Noah.
grave no hit.
GG. And I believe that's your 5th Snowgrave no hit.
Yes,
Congratulations.
thanks. I practiced this run before and I also got a no hit. So I did 2 no hits in one day.
Your no hit history of Snowgrave is really interesting because first of all, you did it without bed skip, so having to watch a 4 minute cutscene every time. Then second, you just did it to get a better time. Third, you did Snowgrave no hit again when you did a guide, a tutorial for no hitting Snowgrave, and a fourth one this morning for practice, and this is the fifth one.
Yes, I have not hit this route a lot of times. Probably the person who not hit it the most, which is a lot because it's a hard run. And as you can see here, Barely doesn't seem to be awake.
Now we gotta theorize: is he alive? Is he dead? Is he
Yeah, we don't
unconscious?
know, but it's very possible that he's dead.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, so we're gonna have kind of a sleepover with Susie after all this adventure that was a bit creepy. We're just going home like nothing happened.
I mean, nothing happened. It was all a dream, right?
Yeah, that's what Noel thinks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wash our hands because we don't want to be dirty.
Now Chris is gonna take their soul out, just casually, like you do every Friday. Just a few cutscenes more before ending the game.
Yeah, this cutscene takes a while. But we already did the run, so it doesn't matter too much. Okay, Chris is back.
We're gonna go watch TV with Susie now.
Yes, just a normal sleepover thing. You see that Chris takes their soul away sometimes. That's because when they don't have the soul, we can control them, so they have a bit of freedom. Yeah, let's do it. She asked us to bring Dark World people to the Light World, and we're gonna say Noel, of course, because she's the strongest.
Now we're gonna watch TV for a bit more. Oh, Susie is already asleep.
Fantastic run.
GG. That's the second no-hit run in this marathon.
Yes, I'm very happy that I got both no hits.
And now Chris is gonna take their soul out again, just for good measure.
And that's chapter 2 with another cliffhanger.
Yep. And in chapter 3, we will start in a dark world, it seems. So it will be very interesting.
All right. Would you like to say any last words or shoutouts?
Yes, I want to shout out QSB that unfortunately wasn't here, so I had to take his place. I thank him for giving me this opportunity. And I also want to thank No Hit Tail, the whole server. We are a community of Undertale and Deltarune challenge runners, and we find strats together and encourage each other. And I also want to thank Fast Little Boys, the speedrunner community, for some of the strats and tips. They are very helpful. So yeah, that's Deltarune Chapter 1 no hit run and Deltarune Chapter 2 Snow Grave no hit run.